The day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side.
Anyway, not to leave it on too high a note, I will say that I'm very proud to have been a member of Charlie Company. I can't say it started out that way. When I got sent there, I got sent from OCC. I didn't make OCC. I was not off. They told me I had to come back at the age of 21 to lead men in combat, and I said, I'm only 19, and they said, yes. And then they sent me to Vietnam, and I got there, and at first everybody said, you're an officer candidate? And I said, well, I was. He says, oh boy, this could be good. And then they gave me an M16, and they say, take it apart and put it back together. Well, I got it apart, but I'll be damned if I can get it put back together. And all of a sudden, they weren't as impressed. But I will say that they treated me with open arms. I made really good friends. I never felt like an outsider. My life was changed by the 19th of June. And I mean, first of all, I wasn't killed, and that was a change for the better. But after such a horrendous, horrible event, 2 weeks later, my picture's in the paper. And I remember we were on board ship in the Mekong. All of a sudden, guy runs up to me and says, oh, my mother just sent me a picture, your picture from the LA Times. I said, what are you talking about? And then somebody else said, oh, I got a picture from from San Francisco. And then other people came up, and it was from the Chicago Herald Tribune. And it all happened because I was cleaning rifles on a Navy ship. My glasses had been demolished. That happens when you're face first in mud for about 12 hours. And they put me on a Navy ship to clean weapons. And then all of a sudden the sailor said, here, grab one of those and get off here. And they dropped me off with A Company, the remnants of A Company. And we were getting ready to assault the tree line, and they said, you're a soldier, they're going to assault the tree line, join those guys. And I got off, and I'm sitting there going, all right, I'll assault the tree line. I didn't know anybody. And the reporters came up to me and said, you mind if we ask you some questions? And I said, fine. Said, are you eager to assault the tree line? And I go, eager? Eager's a strong word. Then they said, did your weapon jam? And I said, yes, it did. And a lot of our weapons jammed. Our M60. I was with a machine gunner named Jackson, and the gun jammed. By the way, I wish I could see him again. I'd love to see him after all these years, because we were through the thick of that battle together, and he worked all night trying to clear his jammed M60, and then he fired it, and it was jammed again. And he was ready to assault the tree line with a gun, a weapon that didn't work. And I said, Jackson, I understand your passion here, but I don't think we should go in there with a machine gun that doesn't work. And he thought about that for a while, and he said, yeah, you might be right. But I asked Bill about that. I said, why don't we bring Jackson in? I said, we know he's in Los Angeles. And he says, Tom, you know the difficulty of finding a black man named Jackson in Los Angeles? But I'd still like to see him, because he was a hell of a guy and he was ready to go. Anyway, it's brought benefits to me. It allowed me to go to school. It allowed me to pursue teaching. I've loved it all. I enjoy coming to these. It brings back good memories, although not all of them are good memories. When I first got Bill's website, it took me two weeks to be able to contact him again. Those pictures look so lifelike, and people that aren't here anymore are in the full flavor of their youth, and it just brought back a lot of memories. Some good, but some not so good. But I think when we come back here, I mean, we get to see how we're doing. We get to commemorate the dead. We get to congratulate Jack Benedict, who I still believe was the best officer that the United States Army. And the idea that he could ski too, I was amazed. And an excellent skier too. I remember I talked to Jack. I got home from the Army in '69. I was watching 60 Minutes. There is my company commander in full uniform being interviewed by Mike Wallace. And he's got no legs. Nobody told me that. I didn't know that. I knew nothing about that. And I had tears coming down. And Jack saying, I'm no super patriot. My men and I did what we had to do to defend our country, and I'm proud of that. And I go, that's it. But it was just such a shock. And then I started reading that he was a championship skier. And to this day, I still feel bad that I was in Colorado. I got my PhD there. Jack was in Golden. I was in Boulder. Jack, how far away was I from you? 35 miles? But I didn't know. Anyway, I will just say this. I like to tell funny stories because I'd rather laugh than cry. And I always have a good time when I come to these. And I also have to thank my good friend, Bill Reynolds. He was my best friend in Vietnam. And we got through some tough times. He was wounded, my glasses hadn't coming in. I was washing dishes with the Navy, and he was in the laundry, and we would get together and tell stories. And the Navy didn't know what to do with us. The Navy says they had to wash dishes. They call it mess cooking, and they had to do it for 3 months out of their 4-year commitment. They hated it. And I'd come in there, and I'd wash, and I'd scrub, and I'd sing, and I was just as happy as hell. And they go, what in the world is wrong with you? And I said, nobody ever died of dishpan hands. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gene Harvey, and something Tom just said prompted me to come up here. I wasn't going to take any time tonight. I'm going to be brief. But I just want to paraphrase a little bit, if I can, Tom, what I heard you say about the fact that the Vietnam War was not pointless. We all recall that image of the helicopter leaving the embassy there in '75. And right at that point in time, everybody said, and everybody thought, well, that's it, we lost the war. But I think, Tom, if I can paraphrase, and tell me if I'm wrong, that the war was not pointless, as it turns out. As my son tried to explain to everybody, I think clearly the new generation, 35 years later now, we're looking back on this, and let me just say, we won the war. Thank you very much.
But I'll tell you one thing that did come out of this Vietnam War was Charlie Company camaraderie. Yeah. That's one thing that we are all proud of. You cannot deny that. At this point, the mic is open for...
Go without saying that I am proud to be the wife of a Vietnam vet. I want to say one more thing. I also had to learn where to sit when you go to a restaurant, because he has to sit so he can say you don't knock his back. Also, I had to learn how to duck, because if I walk real soft, and if I come up on him real fast, I had to learn how to duck because he might hit me. And one more thing, at night, when you get into bed, he would ask me, who we got? Who is that? And I tell him it was me. You know, he'd sleep, and if I got back in the bed and he didn't realize I was out, it was, who is that? Who is it? Who is that? But anyway, I just really wanted to say I appreciate this time, and I'm proud to be the wife of John Bradfield.